वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुना भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things yet to come. I also know all the living entities, but me, no one knows. Ichchadvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O sign of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Isham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatanti ye te brahma tatviduh kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they know entirely everything about transcendental activities. Sadhi bhutadi daivam mam sadhi agnam cha ye viduh prayana kale picha mam te vidur yukta chetasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Person, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Thank you.
Excellent, Swaicha. So, I wanted to ask you, according to text 7.23, what are the two drawbacks of worshipping demigods? And can you name one demigod? Yeah, I told 7.23. So, Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavatyalpamedhasam devan devo yajo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. So in that verse, Krishna is stating two drawbacks of worshipping demigods. So can you tell me the two drawbacks and also tell me one demigod, any demigod that you know? Men of small intelligence.
Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. And Lord Krishna's devotees go to the supreme planet of Lord Krishna.
In the translation, you can make out that there is some drawbacks about worshipping the demigods. How are the fruits?
They're limited and temporary.
Yes. Okay. And what happens to the devotee of a demigod after he leaves the body? Does he go back to Krishna?
He goes to the planets of the demigods.
Yes. If he goes to the planet of demigods, what will happen? born again in this material world, right?
Yeah.
So which is not desirable. You die again, you take birth again, you die again. So it's not a very nice cycle, right? Okay. So can you tell me the name of one demigod?
Lord Shiva.
In a verse, Krishna says that I know past, present, and future. Do you know the verse?
Yes. 26th.
You want to say the verse?
The 26th verse. Vedaham samatitani vattamanani chajuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam to vedana kaschana.
What is the word for bhavishya? What does it mean?
I don't know.
Bhavishya means future. It's there in the translation.
Swechha, I think you did an excellent job, like lots of good memorization and translations, and you kind of understand it as well. So you should continue studying the Bhagavad Gita with, we have very nice teachers here, you can join some of our classes and continue to come every year for the Gita Contest. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Everybody please give her a big round of applause.
So up next, we actually have a contestant from the first category that didn't get a chance to go. Aradhya. Aradhya, are you here?
So we have Aradhya who's from the previous group, right?
Yeah, she didn't get a chance to go.
Yeah. So she got mixed up in another group. So she's the 3 to 5 years group. Aradhya, how old are you?
6.
6. It's 3 to 6 then I think, right? Which verses are you going to be chanting?
Attaidat.
Okay, go ahead.
Attaidat apyasaktoshi kartum matu ashitaha sarva karma phalacyagas tata kuru yatatmavan. The meaning: if however you're not unable to work in this conscious of me, then try to act giving up all your resist and try to be self-situated. Shreyo hi gnana abhyasat dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma phalacyagas tyagachantan anantaram. The meaning: if you cannot take this in practice, then engage yourself in cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation. Renunciation is one peaceful of mind who can attain peaceful of mind. Advaita sarva bhutana maitra karuna evacha nirmamonada hankara samadukka sukakshami santushta satata yogi yatarma dhrida nishchayaha me arpita mano buddhir yomad bhakta same priyaha Yasmano dvijate loko, lokano dvijate chayaha, hashyam ashya bayodveke, mukto rastat same priyaha.
Aradhya, you forgot the translations of last two words. You want to say? She doesn't want to say. Which chapter is this?
12.
What's the name of the chapter?
Bhagavad Gita?
The chapter name.
I don't know.
Okay. How long did you practice these verses?
Long time ago.
Is
Attended
Why?
because it's easy.
I was wondering why is it that everybody likes this verse? Now I know. It's the easiest to memorize. So honesty is also a very important quality of a devotee. And so you can see all of your children exhibiting those qualities very clearly. Just don't go for the what they're saying, but honesty, simplicity, these are the qualities that they're exhibiting, and you have to try to protect them. Right? Aradhya, very good job. Thank you for coming.
So up next, we have Samart from the 6th category. A little closer.
That's good. Yes. Hare Krishna. I will be reciting Chapter 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Knowledge of the Absolute, verses 21 to 30. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitumicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanamihate Labhate cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. Endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship that particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devayajo yanti madbhaktayanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the demigods' planets, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mama buddhayaha param bhavamajananto mama vyayamanuttamam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was impersonal before it have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know of my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha Mudoyam nabhijanati loko mamajamavyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. To them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not see my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know all the things that have happened, all the things that are happening, and all the things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Icha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered from dualities arising from desire and hate. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatantiye te brahma tadviduh kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent men who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Sadi Tadi Daivam Mam Sadi Yagnyam Chaye Viduhu Prayana Kale Pichamam Te Vidur Yukta Chetasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be the governing principle of all material manifestation of the demigods and all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, even at the time of death. Om Tat Sata iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvate Jnana Vijnana Yogo Nama Saptamodhyaya. Hari Om. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hare Krishna.
So in the end you said Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahmame Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. Do you know the meaning of that? Okay. So in text 7.26, Krishna says, I also know all living entities, but me no one knows.
Yes.
Right? So why is it that Krishna knows us, but we don't know Krishna?
Because Krishna, in the first verse, he says that he is in everyone's heart in the form of the super soul. So he knows all of us because he's in our heart in the form of the super soul. And
Why don't we know him?
because
Can you say the translation of verse 7.27?
O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
No, O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of foe.
O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered from dualities arising from desire and hate. Oh, wait.
So doesn't that
Because-
explain why we don't know Krishna?
Because all of us are born into delusion, bewildered from desire and hate, so we don't really know that Krishna is inside our heart in the form of the super soul, because there's some delusions made from
Yeah,
desire.
we are ignorant, right? Okay, good.
What are some of the names Krishna calls Arjuna in this set of verses?
So in this set of verses, in this set of verses,
Cited. Does he say him Arjuna at some point?
what?
Bharata, scion of Bharata
Yeah.
is one way he says addresses, and other way is
O conqueror of the foe.
okay, and one more. He calls him by name.
Oh, Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Very nicely memorized and recited. Excellent memory, I must say, right? Do you all agree? Yeah, it's amazing. Very inspiring. You know, when you were talking about it, just one thing struck me is Krishna talks about how intelligent persons endeavoring for liberation from old age, death, take refuge in me, right? Did Krishna ever say, old people take refuge in me? What did he say?
He said intelligent.
Intelligent people. Did he say old people?
No, but he
No.
really doesn't mean that. He doesn't say that old people can do it too. Not.
Right? So even as long as you're intelligent, you can
Yeah.
understand Krishna.
Like anybody,
Anybody.
like even a small person, like somebody who's
Exactly.
5, or even an old person like 70.
70s old? Okay. Thank God I'm not there yet. But that is a very important point, don't you think? That it's not that just because you're a school child that you should not know Krishna. Or because you're busy studying, there's no time to read the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna doesn't qualify age. He says as long as you have intelligence, it's not that you have to wait till you think you're dying and then approach Krishna. So that's a very important aspect of this particular verse that you chanted, and when you were translating, it struck me a lot. So I just wanted to remind you that just because you're young doesn't mean you don't have to be Krishna conscious or be aware that Krishna is sitting in our heart. Right? Thank you very much. You did a great job.
So up next, we have Bhargavi. Bhargavi, are you here? Okay. Please give her a round of applause.
Hare Krishna. My name is Bhargavi. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya chitumit chati tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadamyaham. I am in one's heart as the super soul. When one desires to worship a particular demigod, I shall keep his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanam Ihate Labate Chatana Kaman Mayeva Vihitan Hitan. Endured with such a faith, he endeavors to worship
Particular demigod.
a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in reality, it is me who bestows these desires. Antavat tu phalam tesham tat bhavat yalpamedasam devan devayajo yanti mat bhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the demigods' planet, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mama buddhayaha param bhavamajananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Unintelligent men unintelligent men
who do not know me perfectly
unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I was formless before and now I have assumed this personality. But they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha mudoyam nabhijanati loko mamajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know my higher nature. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna Bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kashtana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, everything that is happening in the present, and everything that is yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Icha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O Arjuna, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by desire and hate. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavratah. Persons who have acted piously in their previous life and present whose sinful actions will are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and will worship me with determination. Jara marana mokshaya mama shritya yatanti ye te brahma tat vidukritsnam Adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent persons who search for freedom from old age and death take refuge in me, and they are Brahman because they know all transcendental activities. Sadi bhutadi daivam mam sadi yanyam cha ye viduhu prayana kale picha mam savidu te vidur yukta chetasa.
Those in
Tho- Those who are in full consciousness of me, know me even at the time of death. Thank you.
according to verse 7.28, who engages in devotional service with determination?
People who have acted piously in their previous life and their present life.
Whose sinful actions are?
Completely eradicated.
And what do?
They worship Krishna with determination.
What is worshipping Krishna according to you?
Like doing it with bhakti.
Doing what with? Do you practice any forms of devotional service?
I don't know.
You don't pray to Krishna?
Sometimes, like in the mornings.
What do you do? You go to him and ask for some benedictions? You say, give me some clothes or chocolate or something like that? Whatever you do, just there's no right or wrong answer here. Have you seen your parents do something?
Yes.
What do they do?
They do puja.
So whenever you buy any new clothes, do you offer to Krishna first?
Sometimes.
Whatever you cook, do you offer to Krishna?
Yes, sometimes.
So that is devotion, right? That is devotional service. That is what we are supposed to do. We can eat, we can drink, we can do whatever we want, but we just offer everything to Krishna. That is devotional service, right? Okay? Thank you.
You just recited the verses, right? And you were remembering whom? You were remembering Krishna, right? The verses were spoken by Krishna and you were remembering that. That itself is a form of devotion service. Okay, you are doing devotion service in this form of remembering Krishna. Okay, what's your favorite verse amongst all these?
Jara Marana.
Why is it so?
I just like saying it.
Which number is that? 29. That's great.
Well done, Bhargavi. So very nicely done. And sometimes, like in chapter 15, Krishna says that I make you forget. So sometimes when we are on stage, we forget what we've memorized. But just remember that that's also coming from Krishna. We just have to try harder, okay? Okay. She's tired and a little bit sick. you have them not distracting the others.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to be reciting 7th chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, Knowledge of the Absolute. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhaya chutamicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. I'm in everyone's heart as a supersoul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his fate steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Satya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanam Ihate Labate Cha Tatah Kaman Mayeva Vihitan Hitan. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devaya joyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence who worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mamabuddhayaha param bhavam ajananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and now has assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Namam Duskriti no Muda Prapadyante Naradamaha Mayaya Afrita Jnana Asuram Bhavamashitaha. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that has happened in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Ichcha dvesha samuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. O skyne of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajanti mam dhridahritah. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, who are freed from the dualities of delusion, engage themselves with my service with determination. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatanti te brahma tad viduh kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Sadi bhutadi daivam mam sadi yajnam chaye viduhu prayana kale pichamam te viduryukta chetasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigods and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Hare Krishna.
Vena, excellent job reciting the verses. You want to recite 725 one more time?
What?
725.
Namam duskritino muda prapadyante naradamaha mayaya afrita jnana asuram bhavamashitaha.
Sing the verses. 725.
I accidentally learned 7.15.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, the demigod worship. Krishna is speaking about the demigod worship. Did you understand the process of demigod worship in this set of verses?
No.
What does Krishna say? Like, what do people do when they go to demigods? You want to repeat the first two verses?
Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayarchutamicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham.
Okay, so translation.
I'm in everyone's heart as a super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his fate steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
So Krishna makes the devotion steady towards that demigod, right?
Yeah.
And who is actually giving the benefits?
Krishna.
Krishna.
Excellent job, Rena. Well done.
So, up next, we have Anirudh.
I think the microphone is too high for me. Okay. Hare Krishna, Oh, I forgot. Okay.
Anirudh, wait, let's
Can I
let
start
them
now?
prepare. Okay. So you're going to say your name, your age, and start.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. My name is Anirudh Manikandan and I am 7 years old. I will start the verses by chanting the Om Namo Bhagavate mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 7, verse 21. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktah shraddhaya chitramichati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadami aham. The meaning of the shloka is, I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Chapter 7, verse 22. Sataya Shadaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanamihate Labate Chatatah Kaman Mayaiva Vihitan Hital. The meaning of the shloka is, endowed with such a fate, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Chapter 7, verse 23. Antavattu palam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam devan devaya joyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. The meaning of the shloka is, men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Chapter 7, verse 24. Avyaktam yaktim aparnam manyante bhama buddhayah param bhavam jananto mama vyayamanutamam. The meaning of the shloka is, an intelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be the governing principle. No. What now?
There's a lot of distraction. We'll just start again in that verse.
Okay.
Everybody please sit down and keep their children with them.
An intelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Lord, no, the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Krishna was impersonal.
was impersonal and before, and have now assumed this personality. Due to this knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Chapter 7, verse 25. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah mudoyam navijananti loko mama jamavyayam. The meaning of the shloka is, I am never manifest to the foolish and intelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Chapter 7, verse 26. Vedaham samaditani vartamanani charjuna pavishyani cha bhutani bam tu vedana kaschana. The meaning of the shloka is, O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all the things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Chapter 7, verse 27. Ichadveshmuttena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarjayanti parantapa. The meaning of the shloka is, O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the soul, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by desire and hate. Chapter 7, verse 28. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvanva boha nirmukta bhajante mam vritha vritah. The meaning of the shloka is next verse, chapter 7, verse 29. Jara marana mokshaya mamastritya yatanti te brahma tadvidu kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. The meaning of the shloka is, intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know about transcendental activity. Chapter 7, verse 20. Chapter 7, verse 30. The last verse of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. The verse is, Sadi bhutadi daivam sadi anyam chaye viduhu prayana kalepi chama te vidur yukta setasaha. The meaning of the shloka is, those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation, can understand me even at the time of death. Thus end the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. Thanks, Hemanchi.
Very good, Anirudh. I like your costume.
Okay.
And I like your enthusiasm and confidence also.
Yeah. What's that?
Which is your favorite verse?
My favorite verse is the chapter 7, verse 21, Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha.
And why is it your favorite?
The reason it's my favorite because It has my favorite words in it, which is very important to Krishna.
What are the words?
The words are yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktah shaddaya chitrumichati tasya tasya chalam shadda tameva vidadami aham.
Okay, what's the translation?
The translation of the shloka is, I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
And what is important in this?
Huh?
What is the important word and what is the important message from here?
The important message is, God has given everything to you.
God as in who is the God?
Lord Krishna.
And do you know what is his highest planet called?
Krishna's abode.
Yes, what is Krishna's abode called?
I don't know.
Goloka Vrindavan.
Huh?
Goloka Vrindavan.
Goal of Vrindavan. Yeah.
Anirudh, you're very amazing. Do you like drama?
Yeah, I like drama.
I thought so. And so here Anirudh is demonstrating honesty and most importantly enthusiasm, right?
Yeah.
Apart from intelligence.
Yeah.
There you go. See? So these are the qualities we want to have. So you did an excellent job. Which chapter were you chanting from?
Chapter 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, which is knowledge of the absolute.
Totally. And how many chapters are there in the Bhagavad Gita?
There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita.
And who is your teacher?
Miss Siddhi.
No, but who teaches you the Bhagavad Gita stuff?
Huh?
Who did all this recitation with you and practice?
My mom and my dad.
Wow. You want to say thank you to them?
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, Amma, and thank you, Appa.
There you go. Excellent.
Up next, we have Vrisa. Vrisa, are you here? Krishna, please welcome him onto the stage. Please give a round of applause.
Yep. Hare Krishna, my name is Vrisag and I'm going to recite the chapter 7 Jnana Vijnana Yoga to 20 from 21st slok to 30th. Om Paramatmane Namaha Om Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yo Yo Yam Yam Tanum Bhaktah Shraddhayarchitumichhati Tasya Tasya Chalam Shraddham Tameva Vidhamyaham. If somebody has a desire and he wants to worship a demigod, I make the faith steady so that the person could worship the particular deity properly. Sataya Shraddhaya Yuktas Tasyaradhanamihate Labhate cha tataha kaman mayeva vihitan hitan. If somebody has a desire, if somebody has worshipped a demigod with faith, he obtains his desire. But I give the power to the demigod to fulfill the desire. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatya alpamedhasam devan devaya joyanti madabhaktayanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods and the fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Avyaktam vyaktim apannam मन्यन्ते माम् अबुद्धयः परं भावम् अजानन्तो ममाव्ययम् अनुत्तमम्. Unintelligent men think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is supreme and imperishable. नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढोऽयं नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered with my internal potency. And because of that, they do not know that I am unborn and fallible. वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, I know everything that has happened in the past, know what is happening in the present, also know what will happen in the future, and know every living entity in this material world. But no one knows me. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarvabhutani sammoham sarge yanti param tapa. O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, every living entity is born into delusion and is bewildered by desires and hates. येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ता भजन्ते मां दृढव्रतः. If somebody has done good deeds in the previous birth and in their present life, also destroyed all their sins, he engaged himself into my service with determination. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatanti ye te brahma tadaviduhu kritsanam adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Intelligent people who are endeavoring for liberation and trying to get freed from birth and death take refuge in me and are actually Brahmans because they know every transcendental activity. Sadhi bhutadi daivam mam sadhi yagyam cha ye vidu prayana kale api cha mam te viduryukta chetasah. Those who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of this material manifestation of the demigods and the methods of the sacrifices, they can understand me even at the time of death. Hare Krishna.
Risad, I would like to compliment you on being so focused in spite of all distractions. I really appreciate that. That is how one should be in devotional service, right? One-pointed focus, right? One-pointed devotion. It should not be scattered. So very good. Do you know the meaning of your name? I'm just curious.
Yep. So like it means Lord Shiva on a bull.
What is that? Can you come closer?
It means Lord Shiva on a bull.
On a?
Bull.
Oh, okay. Nice. So, what does Krishna say happens at the time of death to his devotee?
Krishna says that they are actually Brahmans because they know every transcendental activities.
So, what happens to them at the time of death?
So like their soul come inside Krishna and they go to Golok and stay with Krishna.
According to 7.30, can you say the translation again, the last verse translation?
Here. Those who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the demigods of this material manifestations and the methods of the sacrifices, they can understand me even at the time of death.
Okay. So, tell me something that how does one come to that stage?
Can you repeat it again?
how does one come to that stage? Like now you had to recite the shlokas, right?
Yeah.
You were practicing it for quite some time, right? It's not that you came in, you saw the verse and then you're reciting. You have to practice, right? So how will one understand Krishna at the time of death? Does one have to do?
Yeah, so because like they're endeavoring for liberation and trying to get free from birth and death.
So what are they doing?
So they're doing transcendental activities like chanting, meditating, doing bhajans, and helping others.
Yes, and even reciting the Bhagavad Gita shlokas like you are doing now. So very good. And so it is a continuous process. It doesn't happen suddenly at the time of death, right?
Yep.
One doesn't remember Krishna at the time of death only. You have to practice. Very good.
What are the dualities Krishna is talking in these verses?
So like the dualities are like they get bewildered by desires and hates.
You can name one more duality.
Desires and hates. Yeah.
Another. One more.
Sorry, I don't know that. One more.
Happiness and distress, winter and summer, these are all dualities, right? Dual means two. So they all come in twos, right? So you did an excellent job. How long did you have to practice?
Like near 1 month.
1 month? Wow, that's amazing. Very well done. Congratulations.
So up next we have Tarangini. Tarangini, are you here? Please give her a round of applause as she makes the announcement.
So for all the guests who are in the temple room to take darshan, we are right now conducting a Gita Contest, which is our annual event. And here are some very young children presenting from different chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. So you just saw Rishabh, who's only 7. And we have our next speaker, so try to encourage them. And this is what we do here. Thank you. So you can introduce yourself. Introduce yourself as well.
My name is Tarangini and I'm in grade 4. Hare Krishna.
So that's 7?
Hmm?
Grade 4 is 7 or 8 years old?
I'm 9.
You're 9. Okay, there you go.
7.21 Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shadaya chittumichati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vidadamyaham. Translation. Krishna is in everyone's heart as a super soul. So therefore when one wants to worship a deity, Krishna knows and gives him faith to worship that deity. 7.22 Sataya Shadaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanamihate Labate Chattata Kaman Maeva Vihitan Hitan. If a devotee worships a demigod and then gets a merit, in actuality, Krishna is the one giving the devotee the merit. 7.23 Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedasam devan devayajo yanti madbhaktayanti mamapi. Translation. Unintelligent men worship the demigods. They get limited and temporary gifts, and they also go to the planets of the demigods. Intelligent men worship Krishna and go to Goloka Vrindavan. 7.24 Avyaktam vyaktimappannam manyante mama buddhayaha param bhavamajananto mama vyayam anuttamam. Translation. Unintelligent men think that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was impersonal before and that now he has assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know his higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
7.25 Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritah modoyam nabijanati loko mamajamavyayam. Translation: Krishna never manifests for the foolish and unintelligent because he is covered by his internal potency Yogamaya. So therefore, unintelligent men do not know that Krishna is unborn and infallible. 7.26 Vedaham samatitani vaddamanani charjuna bhavashyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Translation: Krishna knows the past, present, and the future. He also knows every living entity in the entire world. But Krishna no one knows. 7.27 Ichadvesha samuttena dvantva mohana bharata sarva bhutani samoham sarge yanti parantapa. O descendant of Bharata, the dualities of desire and aversion come from illusion. O conqueror of enemies, every living being in the material realm is deluded by these. 7.28 Yeshant vantvagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te tvandva moha nirmuktam bhajante mam hridavrittaha. Those who have acted piously in this life and the previous life, whose sins are completely gone, and those who are free from the dualities of delusion, engage themselves in Krishna with full determination. 7.29 Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yadanti te brahma tadvidu kritsnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Translation: Those who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in Krishna in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. 7.30 Sadi Buddhadi Devam Mam Sadi Yajnam Chaye Viduha Prayana Kale Pichamam Te Viduryukta Chetasaha. Translation: Those who know Krishna as the Supreme Lord and as the governing principle of the demigods, the material manifestation, and all the methods of sacrifice, will remember Krishna even at the time of death.
Wonderful, Tarangini. How long did it take for you to practice?
About 1 month.
1 month. Did you follow all the translations from Bhagavad Gita as it is?
I used another website for like 1 or 2, but then mostly Veda based.
Okay. You picked because they were hard here?
Mm?
Did you choose the other one because they are hard from Bhagavad Gita as it is?
I thought they were the same, but they weren't, so.
Okay. Okay. What is Krishna telling about demigod worship?
He's saying that if you worship the demigods, you'll get limited and He is stating that if you worship the demigods, you will get limited and temporary merits. And then you'll go to the planets of the demigods.
Okay. Who's giving the benefits to the devotees of demigods?
In actuality, Krishna is the one giving the devotees the merits.
So, who are unintelligent people that Krishna is talking about here?
Unintelligent people,
Can you come closer to the mic?
can you explain the question?
So, who is Krishna calling unintelligent and foolish?
Those who think Krishna was impersonal, before and that now he has assumed this personality, and those who worship the demigods.
So why are they foolish and unintelligent? Like,
Can you explain it?
I mean, why are they foolish and unintelligent? What is the original nature of Krishna?
I
What is
don't
the
know.
nature of Krishna?
He is imperishable and supreme.
Yes. Can we have a little bit more quiet? Like there are children running at the back. The kids get distracted when they're presenting. And to all the guests who are visiting, we are conducting our annual Gita Contest. So please support the kids who have spent a month or more even preparing with their parents. Okay. Dharangiri, thank you very much. This is a lot of effort. Can you tell me the names of few demigods that you may have seen or worshipped?
Indra and
Indra?
Vinayaka.
Yes, Lord Ganesh, correct. And so what does Krishna say in the verse about what he does to people who are attracted to demigods?
He will send them to the planets of the
Yeah,
demigods.
so he makes their faith stronger to that particular demigod, right?
Yes.
Do you know who's the topmost devotee of Krishna?
No.
Lord Shiva. I was going to tell that other boy whose name is Risad, right? So Shiva is the name of the topmost devotee. He's the topmost devotee of Krishna. So it's not wrong to worship demigods, but we need to understand that ultimately it's Krishna who sanctions what the demigods give you. So when we worship demigods, we have to know that the power of the demigods is coming from
Krishna.
That's the importance of this particular chapter, right? So thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna. So next we have Krishna. Please give him a round of applause.
Hare Krishna. My name is Krishna,
How old are you?
6 years old. Chapter 7, verse 21. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya sumicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tam eva vividamyaham. Chapter 7, verse 22. Sattaya shattaya yuktahas tasya dananami hate labati cha hatakaman mayeva vivitan hitan. Chapter 7, verse 23. Avyaktam Antavatu phalanti sam tadbhavetya medasan deva deva joranti but bhaktayanti mamapi. Chapter 7, verse 24. Avyaktam vyaktimapanam manyanti mama bhattayaha param bhavamajananto lok mama vyamanutamam. Chapter 7, verse 25. Naham prakasa sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha mudo nabhiya jananti lokamanan ajan avyayam. Chapter 7, verse 26.
वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानि अजर्जन भविष्यानि च भूतानि मां तु वेदेन कश्चन. Chapter 7 verse 27. Ichha dvesa samutena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sarvaha sargayanti parantapa. Thank you.
What about 28,
Still,
29, 30?
I still need practice.
You need practice. Next year, you're going to come back and say, okay, I'm going to remember that. Okay, a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite verse?